Welcome everyone back to the Primllife podcast. Every kid, every guy at some point has a dream of becoming a fighter. And usually that dream fizzles out as they become a man. But the few people who embrace that dream find a lifestyle that they seem to fulfill in every single way possible, and a lifestyle that brings more joy than almost can even be put into words. And the man I have on today is someone who's explored that lifestyle to the fullest and is going to continue to dominate the fighting scene.
Let's go.
How's it going?
Let's go, man. I'm feeling good, man. I'd love to be here.
Hey, I'm so happy to have you on. Yeah. Ever since I went to Fearless MMA, which is the gym that we train at, I was like, I gotta have him on. And just continued winning fights. Every time I trained with him, it was just, everything that you did was so, like, every movement had a purpose. And I could tell how fluid it was. And just analyzing what turns someone into that machine of a human. And the mindset that goes into violence. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's violence. And a lot of people shy away from it. But you and I'm trying to embrace it as a whole. And so, hey, one day.
Doing good, man.
I'll have you in my corner when I get my first fight.
Soon.
I hopefully. Like, it's one of those things to where it's like, and you probably know exactly what this is like, but like the day you start, you just can't stop thinking about it. Like, I'm in church just basking in the idea of knocking someone out.
You do the random stops
Yeah,
and
I'm in the shower,
randomly.
throwing jabs. And dreaming about it too every night. Like, it's one of those things too where it's like almost every dream that I have is about fighting.
It's crazy you actually said the dream thing, bro, because that's actually how I started. Was a dream, and I was watching, like, you know how the YouTube have the ads and stuff that they show you. So I had a random ad of fighting. They showed some MMA stuff, right? So I was actually thinking about it that night when I seen the ad, and I actually had a dream about it.
Dang.
About the fighting and stuff. So I ended up just getting a feeling inside my body off watching. I was like, I just want to go try that. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking, I'm like 23 years old, 23. So later, I've seen it. But some just gave me the drive. I went in there, met Uriel, had my first class, and the rest is history. Literally all off a YouTube ad and a dream. So it's crazy you said, like, you're dreaming about it. That's how it starts. And before you know it, you're looking at your opponent across the cage.
Yeah. That's insane. And did you, as a kid, did you ever have, like, that idea? Because I know for me, it's like I'd watch, martial art movies, and I'm like, I want to be a fighter. And then, like, a day after you've seen the movie, that idea's kind of gone until, like, the next movie or the next, like, thing you see, like, kind of pops up. Was there always sort of that drive as a child?
Not really become a fighter. I got the feeling that, like what you're talking about, I'll watch a ninja movie or something, and now I'm doing ninja shit with my brothers or something. Or I got to kick them do the ninja move or whatever it was. I used to get that, but I never really had aspirations to become like a fighter. Like, fight for a living. I used to if I probably looked at it as a kid, I'd probably watch and be like, oh, hell no, people do that. Yeah. Well, I think it's awesome, but probably would have never thought it, like, for me to do it. But as I, like, always used to go to my uncle's house and stuff, and he would do, like, little backyard fighting and stuff. Time when Kimbo Slice was big and things. We'd always do stuff like that, and the kids would fight in the gloves and stuff. So I would always, let me do that. But I've never thought of it as, like, a lifestyle. I just enjoy doing it. So then it just kind of always naturally followed me as I aged in a way.
Okay. And so sort of that ad and that dreams awakened the beast that was lying dormant, kind of waiting for your moment, as such.
The something?
The dream and the ad kind of awakened the beast that was laying within a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. I just had like a little, like an urge in my body, like a little bothering urge. It was like, you need to just go try to do that. It just looks like fun. You probably like the same way. Just like an urge, right?
Yeah. It was, for me, I went to one of the, like, last winter. It would have been, I think, last, I don't know. I think I've been training at Fearless since July. But in January, December, I went to one of the BJJ classes. And it was a ton of fun. I literally couldn't move my neck for like 4 days straight.
I bet.
I was in the shower, like, the muscles were so tight and so inflamed. I'm just, like, kind of violently shaking, just, like, trying to relax and, like.
This sucks, but it's awesome.
and it was so fun. It was so fun. I could barely drive home because my forearms were just so tired. And then, unfortunately, I kind of let that motivation kind of fall away. But I was watching. I started Baki.
Bro, I love that anime series.
I started Baki, and I was like, I want to fight. The next day, I went to Fearless, signed up for the membership, haven't went back.
Bro, that's fucking dope. Especially since that was the anime that got you in it. That's a good anime to get you in a fight. Question for you, actually. Because you like so you work out a lot. So I'm guessing you enjoy the feeling after a workout? right? The feeling of the lactic acid buildup, or
I love the feeling of being able to associate the pain that you experience during and after a lift with knowing that it's going to contribute to making you better.
better. So does MMA give you kind of that same feeling, like after the workout and things like that? It's like like hell yeah feeling.
As 100%, and as much as like being pushed too far in this direction might not be beneficial for recovery, if I'm like really messed up after a workout, like limping, I've especially early on, I would get these exercise induced sort of like flu symptoms. So I'd get a fever. I'd be like pouring sweat after the workouts just from how much like energy my body expended. And MMA and BJJ, that's only like a part of my day. It's like I'll run and do like normal lifts too on top of that. And that feeling of just being completely broken, it's a good feeling.
No, that's what I was guessing. You probably fell in love right away when you did the MMA and realized.
If my hardest workout in lifting was a 5 out of 10, MMA, BJJ, every day is a 9 or a 10. Every day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful. Just the feeling of just being so broken down, but also being able to keep up with it too at the same time. Like having your effort reward you in your actions in the training, that's the coolest part of it.
No, it is a really good feeling. That's probably the feeling I like too the most out of MMA, because it makes you feel like kind of like you can do something, you can get it done. It's like I did do that.
Yeah.
Because during it, you knew how hard it was while you were doing it. Even sometimes you might even thought in your head about giving up, but you push through it, and then once you really got through it, it's like a feeling like no other.
Yeah.
Like it is.
And then like afterwards, you're sitting there and you're realizing like from how hard it was during the workout to like after you've calmed down a little bit, you're like, that wasn't really that bad. You know, it didn't kill me. I'm not in the hospital.
I'm still alive.
I'm still alive. It sucked, but we got through it, and now we're basking in the glory of having put forth effort into ourselves. Effort that sucks because like the one workout we did where it was the circuit training for, I think for your fight, is your fight camp. We did it was there's like the sled pushes. You have your legs wrapped around the boxing bag and you're kneeing it, punching it. Carrying the dummy. It's like, that sucked. That was one of the hardest cardio workouts I've ever done.
Bro.
But like after we're just sitting there, you're happy.
It is, because you got it done.
And it didn't kill you too. It didn't kill you. It sucked, but it didn't kill you.
It gets easier.
Yeah. No, I bet with your training, there's been a lot of moments like that too, to where it's like, I mean, it's probably like a 10 out of 10 for hardness. Like that voice in the back of your head telling you to give up a little bit.
Especially when I just started. Like I said, when you first start, man, and you got the impression you're trying to keep up with everybody else too. When your body's not as conditioned as everybody else, while you're trying to keep up with them. But like, it was very hard at first. But as you get better and your body gets more conditioned, it gets easier, and then you learn more techniques. The wrestling and sparring and everything also gets a lot easier with like, because you're starting to know more. You're not dying underneath as much and trying to do a lot of strength movements because you don't know how to get out, so you're relying on strength. Yeah. So eventually when you learn how to start doing stuff, it definitely does get a lot easier.
No, I bet. When it comes into like learning the skills that like, because MMA, it's mixed martial arts for a reason. You have to have at least a little bit of everything to be decent at it. You can't have any like gaping holes in your skills. What was that like for you? Like what were you good at? What were you bad at? What did you have like the easiest and hardest time of developing in your training?
Naturally, okay, I started striking. I started about 6 months of Muay Thai first. I picked up on that pretty easily, like just naturally, because like I said, I used to do it with my uncle and stuff in the backyard with people all the time. So I kind of picked up on the striking naturally. Wrestling took me a little second to kind of learn how to do the wrestling stuff. I don't know if it's a technical aspect of wrestling. It might have been the conditioning of it, because it's very tough. Wrestling is so tough, man. But now that I'm starting to get conditioning there, I'm actually starting to like wrestling more than striking now. I'm starting to fall in love with wrestling. As you can see in my fights, I'm starting to submit people and finishing them off wrestling, which I never thought I'd be a wrestler. And some people probably think of me more of a wrestler than a striker now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm starting to love wrestling, though. I wish I would have done it during school, which everybody probably wishes they'd done it in school.
Me too. 100%.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, wrestling's one of those sports. It's a lot less concussive than like obviously getting hit and punched, but just like the full body movements and whatnot, and having to the full body movements combined with the skill that goes into full body movements. Like I was trying to do like a simple light takedown, and I couldn't pull the dude to the ground, and I I deadlift close to 700 pounds. I'm squatting 500 pounds for reps. And it's like, I can't pull a dude down when I have his leg. It was the one move where you trap his leg in between your leg, and then you pull it as you turn.
Okay, you're talking about the single takedown, right?
Yeah, and it's like, it took me like 5 tries to get him down. Like, it was just like, it didn't make sense.
It's not adding up. It's not adding up.
Years of training for this, literally. And so, like, that respect, and like, every time I train with John and you, it's like, I outweigh you guys by like close to 60 pounds about, and it's like, you guys are throwing me around like a rag doll.
That's where the technical aspect, like
100%.
you say, comes in.
Yeah.
But out of everybody, though, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like a lot of the newer people, you probably progressing the most. Here, I call it the elites, like the elites in the gym, where you got like me, Uriel, Patrick, a few of us in there that are, I feel like, the top tier people. And to me, you're almost starting to blend in with the elite group of us, bro. You're being a lot with us, which I feel like it's your drive, your consistency, and your discipline that's getting you there, which I feel like that's what got me there, which kind of back to the question with the wrestling, what I picked up on, and what was the hardest for me. The hardest part for me was probably the discipline, which is probably the hardest for everybody probably in this world, is discipline.
100%.
But I feel like you got that, bro, which is getting you very far in the game very quickly, which is, to me, a key component in anybody's game, regardless of what you're doing. I don't care if you do lawn care.
It takes something to show up every day.
Yeah, exactly. You got to show up, even when you don't want to do the job because, I ain't getting paid as much as I could be getting paid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the discipline that gets you there, doing it, getting it done. Now you're, like, little things like that will get you a little bit better, so now you can move quicker. Whatever the case is, discipline's key.
And so talk to me a little bit more about that. When it came to, starting a combat sport, what was that like for you? How did you ease yourself into it? Did you just throw yourself into that? Did you have days where you chose not to show up? Like what went into like the early stages of it?
Early stages, I started off I wanted to basically do it when I seen the thing, and I'm like, all right, I didn't think I was going to make it big. Like, get big off here, even be that good. I thought I was going to be just okay. I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn this. I'll be able to teach my son it because he does wrestling, teach my son some stuff, things like that. I don't know if I went off the question, but
oh, not at all.
Yeah, show my son some stuff like that. I didn't. It's hard to say, man, when I started taking it serious. Because almost everything I do, I almost take serious. It was just kind of unexpected that I was that good.
Yeah.
So, like, I started off being serious, but when I started competing, I kind of started competing very quickly. I did jiu-jitsu probably for, like, a couple weeks, maybe 2 months, and then I did a tournament. So I went into the deep end right away.
That was like 4 years ago, right? About?
Maybe about 3.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Gotcha.
I started MMA a year ago. But like I said, when I...
No way.
Yes.
Only
bro.
a year ago?
Yes, bro.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
Yeah, bro. It doesn't seem like that, bro.
Holy shit.
Because I excelled. But like I said, I did kickboxing for about 6 months to a year. Then I went to jiu-jitsu for about 6 months to a year. And then that's when I went to MMA. Because I realized, I'm doing good at kickboxing. And then I went to jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you see my highlight reel. I was kicking ass in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I was, all right.
I saw some of the videos of the tournaments you did.
Yeah. So I was just like, let me try MMA. And I was just kicking ass in that. And just being the level I was, I kind of put myself in the deep end right away for everything.
Yeah. I feel like that's what you got to do. Everyone who eases themselves into something, how often do they stick with it? If you start off going two times a week, and then when it gets hard, when life gets hard, when it gets like less convenient for you, one time, no times, like you gotta throwing yourself in there to start off. I feel like is the only way you really can succeed. I mean, some people can like fall in love with the sport and build up to 5-6 times, but when it came to lifting, I mean, for me personally, it was like, all right, I'm gonna start lifting. I started for the first week. I was like, all right, I'm gonna lift 3 times this week. Figured out I loved it 6 times, and then since then 6 times every week. And it was one of those things. And for BJJ, it was my rule is I make every class that I can. If I don't have work, I'm gonna be there. Right. The same thing for MMA. If I don't have work, and if I'm not sick or too injured to move, I'm gonna try and be there. And I feel like that's the only way champions can really be made. Because then, when if your rule when life is good and easy for you is that you're only going to make it a few times, the second it gets hard, the few times goes down to none. And I think we see that with a lot of people who stop showing up for whatever reason.
No, you're exactly right. See, there you go again. You're about back to discipline, where you already set yourself a schedule, and it sounds like you're very on your schedule and dedicated to your schedule. So it sounds like you're very, very disciplined. Which a lot of people, like I said, don't got it, even if they think they are, because it'll easily go from, like you said, 6 to start lacking a little bit to a little bit more to a little bit more till they don't show up no more.
Yeah.
So depending, whatever it is, but that will lose. I feel like that also comes with motivation too. At the same time, a lot of people will start things highly motivated, and motivation only lasts so long. That's where, again, that's why I keep saying it's key. You fall back on your discipline.
Yes.
Discipline is key, because motivation only lasts so long.
Yeah. And you probably have experienced this too, but I'm probably only motivated 1 out of every 5 workouts. But I still make every it's one of those things where it's like you and me probably still make those workouts that we even though we feel like shit some days, and it's like, I mean, I'd almost rather be asleep. After I'm done with like a 12-hour long work day, and after I've already lifted, it's like the idea of going to do another workout almost makes me sick to my stomach.
No, see, I'm the same way. Like, who wants to wake? Because I do my workouts in the morning. Wake up in the morning, run 5 miles, and then do my strength and conditioning workout, and then I got to go to Muay Thai or whatever it is too. Like, trust me, I'm not motivated to go run 5 miles. Who is? Literally. Yeah. Exactly. I didn't get in the track and field and stuff to run for a living. That's not, I don't like to run.
Are we going to see a future cross-country runner?
The next Wisconsin cross-country champ. No, but yeah, I'm definitely not motivated to do that stuff either. It's like you said, it's all falls under the discipline. Yeah. Things you got to get done, things that you want, that you know is going to put you a little bit above that edge.
100%. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, it's like after, I mean, and I feel like you can relate to this too. After every workout that sucks and then you don't want to be there, it always feels good at the end though, because you know you did something that sucks.
Yeah.
And then your brain realizes, like your brain gives you that burst of dopamine because you did something that you didn't want to that will ultimately make you better, and then most people don't.
Right.
It's like, it's one of those things to where like by doing something that most people, and 99% of the people choose not to do, that even you don't want to do, and doing it and following through with it, it almost like allows you to rise up and like start having the mindset of a champion, even if you aren't like a champion yet. I feel like that goes into like all rising stars.
You got to train like a champ to be like a champ, man. Like you got to have the mentality to be a champ. You just don't. Yeah, you just can't be like, all right, I'm champion. Now you got to do that little bit of stuff that will make you champion, like you said. Wake up and go do the extra run. You don't feel like it, but you're going to do it anyways. Yeah. That dude that you're facing, or even in the bodybuilding competition, you know he might not do the extra set or the extra rep or come in that extra time a day or whatever it is that you are doing. But that's going to put you levels above that person too, though, like you said.
Hell yeah. So when it came to your first fight, my knowledge is kind of only extended to like your most recent ones.
My first one.
Watching you absolutely destroy the dude in the last one, that pure domination to where it's like, he gets you and it's like you just make an embarrassment out of him.
You were there, right?
I wasn't, unfortunately. That was I really wish I did make it that time. And every one from now on, I'll be there too. John's fight was my first fight I went to.
Which was a dope fight.
It was cool.
I'm proud of that man.
Dude,
he's worked so hard, bro.
Yeah, it was such every single round was like John's winning. It's like, yeah. There was never, besides that first kick that he took to the head in the beginning, there was never that question of like, is he going to lose this? He just ground and pound the whole time.
Dominated.
The guy was a mess by the end.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I forgot my drink.
Oh, for sure. And then, so for your first fight, what was that like? Like, I haven't seen any footage of it. I haven't seen like what went into it. I've seen clips from the last two, but like, what was the first one like?
My first fight, that was probably the most nerves I've had because I didn't know if I was good at it at all. Like I said, I put myself in the deep end right away. So I trained MMA probably for 3 months maybe, something like that.
Crazy.
Something crazy like that. So it was my first one. Went there. I didn't even know who I was fighting until the day I got there. I got yelled at by Rachel. She was like, "You don't know who the fuck you're fighting?" I'm like, no. She was like, "It's that guy right there." And I look over and I'm like, damn, like the strongest looking guy there. So I'm thinking, okay then. But yeah, it was definitely nerves. You get in the cage, you look across, and you're thinking, damn, he looks a lot bigger than what I remembered. But okay, here we go. But it was intense, man. My first one kind of like, seemed like I was even though I was in the fight, it seemed like I was watching the fight from like above.
Interesting.
Like if that like an out of body experience.
Yeah. Like your awareness of the situation almost like kind of gave you more feedback and more sensory information that you'd have normally, like in any. Probably,
because how am I to explain it, man? I was like, I did very good. Like my timing was on point. Like I got a first round. It was actually a KO in a minute and a half or whatever.
That's awesome. It
was a bad one, but yeah, like I don't even recall even like being there, like watching it from above. It feels like it was a surreal moment. Ever since that one though, like I got my nerves really in check. Mm-hmm. Like I really don't get like my last fight. No nerves at all. Like everybody asks, how you be feeling? You be nervous and all that. Like, nah, I just be chilling, playing the game, really.
Yeah. That's awesome. So like a lot of fighters, I feel like they have a mindset where some attack with just pure humility, and to where it's like they're completely dissociated. They don't hate the person; they're just there to do a job. They're gonna do it really well. I see some fighters to where it's like they hate the person. They're gonna take their head off. And some people who like have some like semblance of like a medium between the both and whatnot. But when you're preparing for a fight, how do you view your opponent, and what mindset goes into like the training and the fight that's going to, to where you're going to try to take his head off?
Right. Training, yeah, I'm going out there for war. I'm going to try to kill the guy, but I ain't got no harsh feelings towards him.
Yeah.
We're both on the same mission. I feel like just trying to find ways to feed our family. We just both so happen, I guess, to be good at fighting. Now, when I'm there, I do have a switch that kind of gets flipped a little bit. I call it my alter ego. I even got a shirt for it.
It's dope.
Yeah, but I feel a little, at the time when they're coming out, I start feeling disrespected a little bit because I feel like they can beat me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I actually completely understand that.
Like you think you can beat me, so I feel a little disrespected at the time.
Yeah.
But then when it's done, it's like it's all good. It's all good.
For sure. And then when you enter into the octagon and it's like the fight starts, what strategy goes into it? Like where's your headspace? And I know not to give anything away for the next fight, but for like the first few ones that you've done, what a lot of people like enter with like an idea of what they're going to try to go for. Do you have a plan depending on the fighter that it is, or do you have like a general sort of like way and style of like debilitating him?
I do, but I don't. It's hard to explain. So,
and that's sort of like a very hard to put into words question.
Yeah, because a lot of people like, all right, so you'll go out there with a game plan. A lot of people will like, okay, so I think his knee's messed up, or I think this, so I'm gonna come out there with leg kicks or whatever. You got that in your head, like you kind of know game plan. Like if you know they don't wrestle, you're probably gonna go in there and wrestle a little bit. But for me, a lot of times I don't really put my fight towards like a game plan too much because anything can happen. So it's like you go out there and game plan something and that never even comes about. So
yeah,
like I kind of go with the flow. I want to train for everything. I'm just gonna go with the flow of whatever he throws at me. But I do have a thing I do go for.
Okay.
Which I kind of like how they start doing that Cobra Kai, resemble me towards that, because I kind of have a Cobra Kai mentality. I want to strike first, and I want to strike hard. That is literally what I'm going to say right away. Anybody that talks to me, my friends, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hit them hard right away.
Yeah. Kind of control the flow of the fight from the get-go.
Yeah, because if you hit them hard right away, for one, a lot of time their nerves are still going, so you can kind of cluster their mind, make them think kind of, oh, fuck. Things like that.
Yeah.
Give them Plus, you get respect on it. So if you hit them with a hard jab right away, they already kind of respect that first line of defense.
Like the last fight, where like the guy
popped him, knocked him out with the jab. Yeah, I didn't even expect
instant change in demeanor.
Right.
Yeah,
that changed his game plan right away. He probably didn't plan to wrestle that fight. I don't know his game plan, but changed it right away. But I want to hit him hard right away. I want them to feel like they can't just do what they want with me, basically. Yeah. I want to set the pace. This is going to be my fight. That's kind of how I go about it.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I feel like it leaves a lot of room open for changing the plan. Because like with anything, I mean, the second the plan changes, a lot of people who have like, they're very specific. We're only going to do this. We're going to do this. When some part of it falls apart, and like the more complex it is, the more chance it is for it to fall apart.
Their mind's scrambling.
Their mind's scrambling, and they lose. It's just survival at that point. Like there's nothing to go for. But sort of keeping a very open plan of setting guidelines and rules like strike fast, strike hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, past that, there's a lot of room for interpretation, allowing it to change for the fight and how the fight goes. So I like that, and I think that in any world, whether it's fighting in the gym, any other sport, that you have to always be open for adaptation. Right. And fighting, I feel like, is one of the sports to where it's like there's so many variables. Like at a powerlifting competition, it's bench, squat, deadlift. You do 9 total reps. It's so basic. I mean, there might be some very small amounts of strategy, but when it's fighting, I mean, there's different styles, different variations.
Now for competitive lifting, will they ever change anything up on you, or is it you're going to go in there and do the bench press or squat or?
Depends on, so like strongman stuff is a lot more. There's like events, and the events can change. It can be one out of like 50 different things. So it could be carrying fridges on your back for time to deadlifting wheelbarrows filled with water. So it's really, so strongman's a lot more interesting than like powerlifting, and that's part of the reason why powerlifting got really boring for me. It's like I had a pretty decent high level of strength, but it's only bench, squat, deadlifts, and that's why fighting for me is so fun, because it's like this open world of changing scenarios and moments to where there's a million different ways to attack it. And you got to pick and choose kind of what you want to put into it. And so that, for me, so much more fun, interesting, and...
it's a different type of strength, I feel like, too.
100%. Different type of strength. It sucks, and it's a chess game. Yeah. You know, while lifting might be checkers, I mean, you're playing 4D chess when you're fighting.
No, you're right.
4D chess while you're getting punched, too. So...
Yeah, a lot of different variables.
Yeah. When it came to, like, the fights following that, what was this sort of progression? Like, what did you... After the fight was over, what did you work on? What weaknesses did you notice? What strengths did you notice? And like, how did you continue to develop into the fighter that you are now?
So after my first fight, even though like a lot of people thought my mental was already strong, that's why I still felt like I said, I shouldn't have felt like I was in a whole nother world when I was fighting. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to kind of change that, work on my mental. So I did a lot of mental training, which Patrick had me read this book, which helped a lot. I wish I could remember the name of it. He's passing around the gym. John has it right now. You should probably check it out if you want to. It's like a mental training book.
I wonder if I've heard of it.
You might have. Yeah. If you read a lot of books, you might have. It's a very good one. But basically, a lot of mental, man, because I feel like so much goes off your mental. Like, all right, so I can put it in terms of working out. There's probably days where you can lift so much and you're just feeling so good that day, and then other day you'll come back, because your mental's not there, you're not lifting how you normally would work on days that you feel good. Yeah. So it's like when your mental's good, you're going to do good. And I also go with like you look good, you feel good, you perform good too. I'm big with that. Every way to feel good. So I'll even do like little things, make sure I get my hair cut, make sure I dress nice for the press conference or whatever I weigh in or whatever, just to kind of feel good, to perform good, things like
100%. That. Yeah, no, it's and to go a little bit on the first part of that, the like if you feel good, you're able to perform better and whatnot too. And there's something called neural drive, which is your body's ability to recruit motor neurons to for effort. So people who are able to strain better and use their brains better can lift more. And I think it's starting with your brain, having that mindset in the beginning, having the confidence. Then learning how to strain, learning how to use 100% of effort at once, that will allow you to lift more. So it's like on any given day, depending on how I feel, I mean, my strength might only like differ by a few pounds based off of recovery, but depending on the mindset, depending on how much I want it, and how much I'm willing to put into it, and how focused I am. I mean, my deadlift can differ by 70, 80 pounds.
Man, that's crazy. See,
it is.
I've never even heard of that. What was it called again?
Neural drive.
Neural drive.
So like the best powerlifters, and I think it would probably come to like MMA too. The best powerlifters, their focus, concentration, and ability to strain under pressure is so good that they've recruited. I think that like the statistic was like 70% more of their central nervous system than normal untrained people.
Now, do they got a way to train that, or like any type of medicine or vitamin or anything that can?
There's going to be some vitamins and some medicine that help, but working with heavy weights and teaching your body how to exert force over a period of time.
So it's kind of, you just doing it, you'll naturally like kind of build that up.
And learning how to focus too. I mean, learning how to control your breath, learning how to breathe, how to think. Like there's probably 30 lifts that I've done, 30 PRs that I've hit that I don't remember because I just saw red. Because I just was so focused and so determined that I don't remember the lift at all. And I got it, but it disappeared. Like the only thing I have to remember of it is the video.
Right.
Like I got so focused, so like intense about it, and pushed so hard that I don't remember it. So
I'm back into that, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of like goes into like fighting too. It's like the more you're able to sort of unlock a little bit. I don't know like what how much it could be, but depending on how you feel, depending on like the mindset of the day, your ability to perform and the performance levels that you can hit, the metrics are going to be significantly higher when you feel good.
No, 100%. That's why I'm bigger with being mentally right than even physically. Of course, you got to be physically right, of course. But I'm like I said, I'm so big with just being mentally there because you perform good. You're not as tense or like when I'm doing jiu-jitsu and I feel more nervous, I'm not doing things I normally would be doing. Like sometimes doing the crazy stuff that I would normally do, like doing a crazy roll or flip over will pass the guard. But since I'm not mentally right there, I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to do that crazy thing to even get over there. So like it's like it probably, I don't know if I explained it right, but
I get it.
But like like little things like that.
Yeah, it's depending on where your mind is at the day, it kind of like limits or enhances the performance that you're able to do. Even though day to day you might still have that same level of performance, the mindset is kind of changing what you can kind of pull from that.
100%. And like being motivated helps that mental a lot. So kind of staying, like trying to keep that mental edge is harder than it sounds. You got to kind of train and find ways to feel good, to perform good them days.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people will take note, like I ate this morning or I did this morning and it made me feel this way. A lot of people will do things like that. Yeah. So I also am, as I am fighting through the amateur, I'm trying to find things that do get me at that feel good day, because you got one day where you got to peak in a fight. I mean, you do all this training to peak one day. Mm-hmm. So it's like I try to find ways to get that mental edge every time.
For sure. And obviously, I mean, you're an undefeated fighter. Let's go. But when it goes into that, were there any moments, because I mean, obviously you haven't lost your fights. Were there any moments in the training or around that time period that you feel like you lost? Or like any times to where you had really challenging moments?
In the fight or in the training?
Anywhere.
I mean, in the training, yeah, man. I can't even think of the name. Ironmans, there we go. The Ironmans they be having this do. There's a couple times in there I thought I was gonna die. Like, man, like, were you in there with some Ironmans?
I think I helped for one of them, and I was so new to the sport to where it was like I think Tom said, screw jiu-jitsu, screw MMA, just sit on him or just muscle him.
Right, yeah. Man, and then it's my job to get out. So it's like they had me do 5 rounds, man. I'm telling you, the gym workouts is harder than the fight. By far. I mean, I'm gonna have a challenging fight, but I still feel like what they do to me in the gym is gonna be far worse than what they're gonna do to me in that fight.
That's awesome. It's probably a good feeling though, knowing that the hardest thing you're gonna do is not even the most important part. I mean, it is the most important part, but it's not the part that you're being judged on.
Right. I mean, we got good guys at Fearless, man. I mean, you're there. Yeah, you see, we got some really good guys, and we're doing really good things over there, man. Yeah. That shows that we got really good guys. So to think, I mean, my frame don't seem too small, but I fight at 145. I'm probably
And you're a tall dude too.
Yeah, I'm right besides Tyler, like this one of the smaller people in the gym. So trying to defend off all these giant fucking beasts, it's hard, man. But it's what I feel like was putting me to what I am now. Pressure creates diamonds, and that's just all that's going on in there, man.
I love that. Yeah, and I feel like that's, I mean, like you said, that's why part of the reason Fearless has been so successful. Especially recently. It just feels like everything that happens with the jiu-jitsu competition last night.
Man, you seen that?
How many gold medals did they win? Was it like 10 or something?
Man, we've been going to competitions and just taking everything.
And from what I've heard, it's like the intensity that we bring to the training, most gyms don't have, from what I've seen. Because I visited like a Gracie Baja gym in Madison, and it's like they rolled so like calmly, and it was like, I mean, there's value in keeping it so technical to the point where there's no, like, to the point where everything is slowed down. But it's like, I mean, when we're doing the all roll and all spar, it's like people are going hard. They might not be trying to take, some of them might be trying to take their head off. But they're going a lot harder than I feel like most people are used to going.
Yeah,
which is fun.
We have a family aspect to it too, where a little bit more in the jiu-jitsu, where it's more friendly, family. But if they, like you're playing around in the MMA room and stuff, man, you're part of the No Mercy squad, so yeah, they're in there trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Basically, bro.
It actually hurts, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It makes it fun.
It hurts in there. It hurts a lot in there.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, my head's against the fence, and I'm like I got wrestle fucked, and I'm being pounded, and it's like, it sucks.
It hurts in there, no. But yeah, in there, yeah, it's definitely intense. But we have that calm family vibe too at the same time.
No hard feelings between anyone. It's cool. It's as much as, you know, I mean, some of the punches might hurt. Regardless, I mean, everyone's cool about it, which is awesome. Yeah, it's fun.
No, it's a real family there, man. Like everybody there will go a mile for you and above, man. Mm-hmm. I love it there.
Yeah, it's a community that just keeps on giving. That's awesome. It's really cool to be a part of. Everyone is. It's awesome because you get all these really impressive fighters, really violent people when it comes to like the competitions and whatnot. But they're all just so chill. Like, hey, how's it going, dude?
Violent. That's all back to that alter ego stuff. That's what I'm saying, man.
But then they pull out some monster when it comes to like the cage, and you just like you see the intensity in their eyes, and it's like,
where's that guy? Where's that guy in the gym?
Yeah,
man?
Literally, he's hiding in some corner of his brain, ready to be let out with a lock and a key when the time is right.
It's awesome. No, I love it. So I see the primal. What's it? Primal Mind. Over there?
So I'm actually hoping to bring it to Fearless at some point. But have you seen the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper? So when I watched the movie, I'm like, this is really cool. Like he's expanded his world. He's made a lot of money. Right. He's doing really cool things. And then I learned that there's real life supplements that allow you to have a fraction of that sort of enhanced focus, memory, knowledge, calmness, confidence. And so I started experimenting with them, and I read like a ton of scientific articles and PubMed studies. And I combined the best, most clinically proven supplements together, stuff that you can get in a diet. So I mean, I think 90% of it is something that you can get in like
so it's kind of your creation yourself?
Yeah, dude, I made it myself. I combined it together, have a capsule maker, and I put it together. And I mean, it works really well. It's one of those things to where it's made to not be like Adderall, because I mean, how addicting is Adderall?
Right.
You might feel great when you're on it, but that's not sustainable. And so I made it something that you can take every day, something that is mostly everything that you can get in a perfect diet. So I mean, if you eat a dozen eggs, have a steak, eat like veggies, you can get most of everything that's in there. But I combined, like, I have 100 milligrams of caffeine and something called Nupept. And Nupept is something that, I mean, it is artificial, but combined with everything else, it allows your brain to fire up more rapidly. We're also promoting memory, calmness, confidence. And so I noticed that, I mean, when you put everything together, it creates something that can drastically calm you down, increase motivation, increase drive. And one of the coolest parts of it, especially for someone who like me is like a podcaster, is you are able to speak better.
I'm going to have to try that. Have you seen Joe Rogan actually has a brand called Alpha Male?
Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain. Yep, there we go.
It's highly underdosed. As much as I love Joe Rogan, his product is very underdosed. And it's sold for like $100 for every 30 servings. And so it's like, when I realized I could make something that was better, cheaper, and it was my creation, I did it. So it's been cool so far. We've sold a lot of it.
So
I know.
You guys hear that? You can get it right here in Janesville.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. We'll have to get you some samples, let you try it.
Let's go.
But I know Johnny picked up some, and he likes it.
Really? I'll try it. I tried the Alpha Brain stuff like that. I feel like I've seen some of the results, but like you said, if it's microdosing, so I'll probably really feel the results.
Yeah. We'll hook you up with some afterwards, and I can let you figure it out. Let you see how it reacts. But yeah, no, it's cool to have your own product, and like I like being able to expand in my life beyond like the physical side of things.
I knew you knew about it. I knew you would know about it. That's why I asked you.
And I'm hoping that I can eventually, because I mean everything in it, not banned by WADA, so you can take it and not get. I mean, you cannot pop for a drug test. And when it comes to being able to think like a chess player and being able to like calmly and rationally put things together, the benefits are pretty high too. So I'm hoping to eventually start incorporating into fighting and see if that will make sense.
So that stuff that you were talking about,
Neuropeps.
Neural
Drive. Yeah, so
Neural Drive, does that help?
Yeah. So your central nervous system and being able to recruit your central nervous system is neural drive. And so the precursors to dopamine that are inside of there, dopamine being the molecule of reward, motivation, seeking, and what allows us to actually, like, if I pick up this, dopamine is being used. If I have a goal, dopamine is being used. And by having a high state of dopamine, you're able to do more physically, have better recruitment and better recovery, whatnot too. So it's one of those things to where it all just kind of fits.
And you feel happier, right?
Feel happier. Yeah. So yeah, I like it. It's cool, and I'd like to bring it to the fighting world.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man.
I'm definitely gonna try some.
Yeah. When it comes to your training, like what supplements have you taken?
So I'm not really big in. Haven't took too many supplements because, like I said, I don't really have too much knowledge of it. And I don't want to get popped for something or something like that. But I take green superfoods, take my BCAAs and the electrolyte shake, like I was telling you, with the coconut waters. Put some salt in there. I drink protein shakes, and another thing that I take that I was gonna actually ask you what you think about is beets. Beets for like the blood flow and then recovery and things like that. I don't know if you know anything better or things like that, but I actually found like good progress and like good results using that and doing like a workout and things, recovering and things like that.
So blood flow. A lot of gym bros, they like blood flow for the pump. They want to look big. They want to have like the veins that they can't normally see when they lift. But another part about the pump is you can shuttle out waste quicker, and you can shuttle protein in and recovery and more blood flow to fill the muscles up and activate the muscles. And so beets are a pretty nice vasodilator, which means that they expand the blood vessels. So having beets in your diet, it might not be like a huge increase, but combine that with good sleep, good training, good nutrition, it's going to be a benefit to your training. Okay. It's going to be a small part of something that already exists. I tell people, I mean, if you get 8 hours of sleep a night, if you train hard and eat a decent diet, you're going to already unlock 85% of the gains. Like you're going to have 85% of the picture unlocked, but once you start going a little bit more in depth, that extra 15% that can be gained through nutrition, optimizing deeper aspects of your nutrition, like throwing in beets into your diet, throwing in coconut water, throwing in EAA, BCAA supplement, that will allow you to get the extra 15% that might be a little bit normally harder to achieve.
Right.
And might take a little bit more planning and scientific look into the fight. And so let's say for you, if I was trying to make Darren, give him that extra 5%, I would, leading during your whole training cycle, I would have you, before training, I'd have you take some simple carbs. So I'd have you take like a few cups of white rice, maybe some protein, depending on how, like, most people's stomachs, some people don't handle food before training well. Personally, for me, a small to moderate-sized meal with protein and carbs especially before your lift, gives your body the glycogen, which is what we use for fuel, to perform a lot better. It's treated by our body like a pre-workout, especially when we get our body used to forms of energy other than candy, and other than super sugary snacks. Our body's able to use those carbs really well. And you'll have incredible pump, you'll feel really good, you'll recover faster, and you'll have a lot more energy during the fight. So I'd have you get your body used to simple carbs, and then afterwards, I would try and get you to an immediate state of rest and recover. So instead of let's say after a workout, you're normally used to going out maybe like hanging out with some friends, doing something fun and whatnot too. And that's cool. But let's say some people
we're throwing the fun out.
not even that. And if the fun is what calms you down, totally cool. But if after you train, you go do something that gets you even more amped up, that's not going to be good for recovery because your body needs to be able to rest and recover and use the protein and the food to rebuild the muscle, reactivate everything, kind of allow your body to rebuild. And then let's say for sleep, what's your sleep like? Tell me about your sleep. Maybe not sleep right now, but like when you're training, and under good circumstances, what's your sleep like?
Well, I got 3 kids, so I mean,
there you go.
let me start it with that. But man, maybe 5-6 hours, which is to most people probably good sleep, I guess.
Really?
To some people, maybe good sleep. I wish it could be more, but probably. Yeah, with the kids, yeah. It's hard, man. It's hard. Okay. My wife helps me a lot, though.
That's good.
She helps me a lot with like the sleep and the meal prepping and.
Smart. Okay. So what I would tell you is that with that 5 to 6 hours, unfortunately, when it comes to training, and you might be like have the genetic mutation. There's a few people.
I need like 8, 9.
If you're training for a fight and depleted calorie wise, I'd say like 9, 10.
9, 10.
To be optimal. But you don't want to get too much in your mind about it because that creates unnecessary stress. So if you're only able to get 5 to 6, you work with what you have.
Yeah.
But let's say you're able to work with the variables, maybe get 7. I would tell you the last 2 hours of your night, no electronics at all. If you have to, let's say like you have to work or you have to do something, blue light filter. So it changes it so your retina is able to. Unfortunately for us, like let's say.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I was gonna get glasses and get that. Actually,
let's say the screen. It's a blue light. Right. On blue light is similar to sunlight in that it activates the part of your brain that responds and wants you to wake up and do things. Keeps you up and do things. Unfortunately, too, it also depletes your melatonin significantly. And melatonin being what allows us to calm down and fall asleep. So melatonin, as we are awake throughout our day, rises, tells us to go to bed. Blue light completely inhibits that. And so even, stepping into like the bathroom and having that bright light on you, like when you're trying to fall asleep, that's going to naturally inhibit your ability to fall asleep. So I tell you to like pull all blue light out. I would tell you to not eat an hour and a half before bed. If you have to, let's say you haven't gotten any nutrition in, it's going to be better than nothing. But you want your body to be able to focus purely on the sleep and recovery. And then when you wake up, well, tell me what your morning looks like. When you wake up in the morning, obviously you train, which is great. What else do you do?
So I wake up in the morning, and depending on how early I get up, like if I got to wake up, take the kids to school, then I do my workout and stuff right after I drop them off. So it'll be like I run my 3 miles, 5 miles, whatever it is. Then I do abs every day. I feel like
I believe in that.
Yeah. I do abs every day. So I do my abs depending on what day it is, arms, legs too. And then I come home, eat breakfast, which my personal trainer actually, he wants me to start eating before I go do my workouts or stuff.
Yep.
He said for energy or whatever. But it's like a time thing. I'm just trying to hurry up, drop them off, be home, do my workout, be home so when my girl's up, she can do what she has to do. It's like it's a lot of mess going on. Eventually,
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, I'm hoping this ends up being something big and I can get paid doing this so then most of my time can be on fighting and stuff so it ain't a whole lot of dibble-dabble stuff. But yeah, do my workout, eat, come home, do what I got to do, then go to Muay Thai, which I do eat before I go to practice. I eat rice. I have my carbs, so it could be rice, potatoes, vegetables, protein, and then fat, which could be my avocado or peanuts.
There you go.
Nuts.
That's good.
And I don't shy from salt. I use salt on everything.
Same. Yeah, but you want that out. Sodium being 1/3 of an electrolyte, we need a lot. I mean, I think the statistic is that we sweat out 10 grams of sodium during our training, like an average workout, which is a lot of salt. And so having that extra salt in your diet is only going to benefit you. So that's good.
Yeah. I don't cut salt till 3 days before the fight, before I do my water.
Yep.
Dump everything, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it sounds like for what you're working with, you've pretty optimized, which is a good thing. If you're trying to be as optimized, I'd recommend that when you wake up in the morning, in the first hour of being awake, and you might already do this with your run, get 5 to 10 minutes of direct sunlight. Unfortunately, windows block the UV radiation that we need to get the
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D, and also so the UV light when it hits our eyes, it sends a signal through part of the brain because the one part of your brain that's outside of your head is the optical nerve. So it activates the optical nerve and sends a signal to your brain that increases testosterone, increases adrenaline in a good way, and increases dopamine.
It makes a lot of sense.
And then it also works because when you're tired and about to fall asleep, that sunlight in the morning, the timer that it sets will allow you to increase more melatonin.
That makes sense, bro. Because there'll be days I'll come right from inside, so open the door and run from my house.
Yep.
And the run will feel like it's dragging the whole time. I feel like shit. But then when I drive to the gym, because sometimes I do the treadmill thing because I have like a little thing. So when I drive to the gym, I'll feel better. But that might be because, like you said, I'm sitting in the sun or whatever while I'm driving there. So like you said, I never thought about that, though. I never thought of that.
And your testosterone will be higher. You'll have more dopamine, more motivation. You'll feel better. It'll reduce stress. It'll actually binds to estrogen in our bodies. And like having some estrogen in male bodies is good. Way too much, though, bad stuff happens with energy, libido, sleep. So it'll bind to the estrogen, increase your testosterone, increase your melatonin when you're actually tired, and increase adrenaline in the morning. So it's small stuff like that adds up. Well, what do you do for recovery? Let's analyze that.
Recovery after every session, like a fight week recovery.
Both. Let's talk about both.
All right, so if I'm normally working out, I'll do probably maybe an ice bath, maybe once a week, once every other week.
Okay.
I hate them, but they work the best.
Yeah.
They work the best. I know it ain't technically like recovery, like you said, but to me it's active recovery, because I like to do walks and things like that.
Dude, that's 100% recovery.
Yeah.
Literally going on a walk is going to have more recovery than, in my opinion, most supplements can give you.
Really? See,
100%. Small stuff like that.
But yeah, that might be why it feels like it relaxes me. But yeah, I go for a walk, sit at the park or whatever, let the kids play. To me, that's like calms my body and stuff like that. Fight week, I get a little bit more aggressive with the recovery. I did the chiropractor. I do that, and then I do what's the thing with the needles? Acupuncture.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've tried that. A lot more ice baths. I might go from once a week to maybe every day after practice.
That's awesome.
Ice baths. And then before the fight, like right before the fight and all that, I almost always will go for a walk or something with nature.
Yep.
Like I'm very connected with nature, bro. To me, like I feel the energies with everything. It's like an energy thing.
Completely agree.
It relaxes my body, relaxes my spirit, my mind, and gets me ready for war.
It sounds like there's a lot of small factors in your daily life that are playing a really massive role in your recovery. And I think you realize some of it kind of subconsciously, like nature. But I mean, I could quote 15 studies that talk about how being outside is beneficial for recovery. Ice baths are great. Did you know that an ice bath can increase your levels of dopamine and sustainably increase your levels of dopamine for hours afterwards to the level of cocaine?
I didn't know that.
Literally to within kicking range of cocaine, your dopamine levels can get increased. And it's sustainable and it increases your baseline. So it just doesn't, the feeling of like the good feeling, and it sucks, but it feels good. Ultimately, like, getting out of it feels good. And like the feeling afterwards, after ice bath feels good. For hours afterwards.
So the message is don't do cocaine. Just take ice.
No. And for a lot of people,
bath.
who are recovering addicts, or people who have like ADHD, which is either a misregulation or having depleted dopamine in your brain, ice baths, ice showers are a great tool to increase that. Depression, I think the study was people's depression symptoms went down by 50% when they started taking ice baths and ice showers.
It makes sense though. During, you're not gonna be happy. Not during, but after.
It sucks.
It sucks. But when you are done with it, you do feel really good. You feel like very good.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. It helps the best. We need one at the gym. I think I'm gonna buy one for Patrick or something. One of them, like what are they? Kind of like the animal feed them tubs or whatever it is. And we
the trough, or
something like that. We could just fill that up with water or something. I think Pat would like that.
That'd be super cool.
Good gift, and then for everybody at the gym.
Keep it in the winter and just crack the ice on the top. And
that'd be crazy.
That'd be
workouts.
awesome.
Everybody have to do like a little thing.
Yeah. And then eventually, when Fearless really takes off, we get like a sauna room.
Yeah.
Would that be cool?
We're gonna be there. We're gonna get there.
Make cutting weight a million times easier, probably.
We're gonna get there. Yeah, it would. And we could do everything from the gym.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Get us to a whole nother level.
A working scale.
We'll get there.
We'll get soon.
We'll get there soon.
Hey.
Soon. We just gotta keep doing what we're doing as a gym,
100%.
man.
And obviously it's working too, because you guys are killing it.
Yeah. So
all the recent fights have just been. I mean, Chris, you, John. It's just a win-win-win. It's awesome.
It is. Hey, it hasn't been like that, man. It's just we just got this drive all of a sudden in this group of people that are just. We work good together. Like you said, it's a family aspect to it too, and we're all on the same mission.
Mm-hmm.
We're all on the same mission.
Yeah.
And like you said, it gets tough, and sometimes certain of us will lose a little motivation here and there. But since we're so motivated as a group, it ends up reeling another person back in, or helps the other person a lot get back motivated.
A little bit of a check too. I mean, people will certainly help you regain that drive on days where it doesn't feel like it too. You know, the coaches do a good job of pushing us as well, and having that different level of you know, Tom's obviously a little bit different from Patrick and how they coach, but that works really well with the different types of people and whatnot.
Yin and yang, yin and yang.
Literally.
Good cop, bad cop.
100%. Tom gets scary during MMA, dude.
He does.
Every time it's my turn to demonstrate something, it's like, all right, Count, don't fuck this one up.
Bro, I'll be over there like just laughing when he's like drilling people, laughing, and just hoping he don't see me laughing because I know I'm gonna get drilled next. I'm like, shit, but I'm trying hard not to laugh because I know what it's like.
It's
so
good though. It's good.
Because some people do need sometimes you need the Patrick where he'll be calmer with you, get you through it, but then sometimes you need the we don't care about the fucking excuses. We don't care about the BS. Just do what I say and just move. I don't need 100%. You thinking. You're not here to think. Just move. I'm thinking for you. And sometimes you need that.
Yeah. It plays really well off each other and keeping every day a little bit different too.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting screamed at 7 days out of the week. But I mean, it's in there when you need it.
Like you said,
it's in there to remind you to really push hard and to really enhance your level of effort, which is cool. I enjoy it. It's always a fun time.
It works. 100%. We got some science shit going on there.
Yes, sir.
Some here and there. But
what's Fearless,
it's good.
The effort that Fearless MMA makes everyone do and like the scientific world meet together. Just, freaks are going to become even more freaky.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're getting a good group of people there too, man. Like people that are very knowledgeable with stuff too. Back to you, like man, you got all this stuff going down that we don't got a lot of like supplements there. I don't know if we even know too much about like supplements or even like we got a personal trainer and he comes there every now and then, so he helps with that. But supplement wise and like things like that, a little bit extra knowledge you add to that. We got people from a little bit everywhere. We got very high wrestlers that can bring knowledge.
Yeah,
like that's what's doing us good too, though. Like
100%. People that excel in all different areas, which is awesome to see. And obviously in the future we're gonna have a lot of. Right now we have a lot of killers, but even more. It's just gonna keep on developing and. Greatness like you is going to go to the mainstream, to the UFC. Let's go. It's going to happen soon.
Hoping I can get more people from my area, man. More people from Beloit. We got a lot of talent there.
That's awesome, yeah. Beloit, there's a great community in Beloit.
Yeah. We got a good community there. A lot of bad stuff going on, but we don't... Man, there's just not we just ain't got enough going on there. And I'm trying to show that we do got stuff going on. We just got to kind of find it and dibble-dabble a little bit more.
Yeah. Have an outlet for some of that energy.
Right.
Yeah,
Look, you guys want to do violent shit? I know a place that we can do violent shit.
Turn into something good, too.
Turn into positive. So, man, that's just how I'm trying to represent hope. Person from that area in that environment that's kind of been through all that same shit that, they're all going through now, kind of. I'm starting to transition myself out of that environment now and kind of give hope to the people that are still left in it.
It's incredible. That's super cool to hear. And I know for certain you're a role model to a lot of different people. Definitely your kids, too. Yeah. That's awesome to see.
All right, man, yeah.
A lot of positivity from you, which is incredible. And to share with the audience, where do you plan on going? Like, what's the game plan for the future? What do you see on your horizons? And what goals you want to conquer?
Well, the end game, man, is the UFC.
Let's go, yes.
The UFC just signed a contract with LFA. LFA is probably the organization if you want to get into the UFC, man. I mean, the guy who just beat Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, he fought through LFA. Sean O'Malley fought through LFA. I mean, the list goes on and on.
It's incredible.
So, I mean, this is a real organization, so I'm definitely at the stepping stone I need to be to get there. I don't know if UFC will be the first offer I jump onto because money is a thing.
100%.
And I don't want to do this forever for little to no dollar. So I do got to strategize smart. So depending on what my offers are first will be where I'm going to go. But my end game, I want to be in the UFC, man. Incredible. That's what everybody says, yeah. I want to be playing myself on the video game, man.
That's an incredible
awesome
goal. It's a lot of people cut themselves short by setting really small goals. And having a reasonable goal might work for some people, but having something that, only 0.001% of people reach, raising yourself to that level of wants and needing it,
right,
and then taking the steps to get there, something's working. Something's working really well for you. And I think
you got to have the realism in there, like you said too, though. Playing set goals high, but my first goal wasn't to even first started. When my story first started, the goal wasn't never the UFC. When I first started, it was I just want to do it, and then to teach my kid to do it, and then eventually my goal went to let me win my first fight. Then it went to maybe I'm gonna fight for a chosen few one day, and then I fought for chosen few, and then a title for chosen few. So my steps gradually just increased, and they were all realistic goals to an extent. Like being from where I was, I never thought I was going to win the chosen few title. Never thought I was going to be a fighter. And things like that, it was always a goal for mine.
Yeah.
But
continued to getting more lofty, and it didn't. Yeah. You didn't cut yourself short.
No. My goals are just slowly just increasing as I'm going. But they're realistic, man. Never thought I'd fight for the LFA. I'm fighting for LFA now. You never know for things, man.
It's going to keep on getting higher.
Yeah, it just keeps on going, man.
Once you get the UFC, it's going to be a world champion, and then you're going to get there.
Yeah, right. Goal like I'm saying right now is to get to the UFC, and then I say I get to the UFC, and then my goal is going to be the champion. It's just going to always be there. I mean, certain people, it might sound crazy. Shit, it might even be crazy, but
I think every single thing that's made a drastic change in the world, and every single crazy thing that's happened, I think they're all been crazy.
Life's crazy.
Life's crazy.
Crazy. So,
Sometimes you need that little bit of crazy, and a lot of times it seems like that crazy is almost what pushes it forward. Like having something in your head that you know is going to be that hard, maybe even unlikely to some people, that pushes you. Broadens your horizons.
It is. I mean, what was it? Benjamin Franklin? I mean, he said he was going to create a light bulb one day, create light in homes or things like that. I mean, to some people that was fucking what you mean.
I think everyone knows that's crazy.
It is. Yeah. It just starts with a thought, bro. Thought turns into a dream. Dreams turn into reality.
I love that. That's good. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Darren Coleman or Instagram, Darren the Kobra Coleman. I'm slowly starting to try to get more social medias out.
Yes, sir.
One guy. I'm not the best at the social media, but I'm learning. So eventually I'll get Twitter and all the other stuff. But right now, just find me on Facebook, Darren Coleman, or on Instagram, Darren the Cobra Coleman. Yeah,
make sure you go give him a follow. A lot of incredible things coming for this guy. One of the hardest workers I know, and it's a pleasure to be part of your life and to be able to train and learn from you. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Also do want to give a shout out, man, because like I also said, I'm big with local. I like to give back to my community in Beloit. I'm wearing a clothing brand called Savage Culture. As you guys can see right here, it's a local clothing brand. Get into with my guy SGMG Murda. Another guy who does very good local clothing is Brandon Cashin. I don't got his merch on today because I probably done wore it out. I love local.
Everyone has that shirt that they wear.
I probably done wore it a little bit too much, but that's what I'm saying, man. I love their clothing, man. They do really good locally. So if you like to invest in local business and for good causes, there are some good people to get to.
Hell yeah.
And then one more thing I got for you, man. I come out with them. I don't know.
I've seen those before. That's dope.
I know you watch a little anime, the Baki, Naruto headband.
Oh my god, dude, this is dope.
Yeah, being the first person to interview me, man, it actually means a lot, bro. It gets me in my career far ways. Lets people kind of know my story a little bit more. Gives more people hope. So I appreciate you, man, for doing it.
Of course, homie.
It's a headband with attributes,
awesome.
man.
This is cool.
You might have to put it on for one of your sets one time.
Dude,
it
literally.
might increase your
Increase
your weight from 50 pounds.
Literally, legend has it that this headband increases PRs by 10% when I put it on.
Facts.
And strikeout power.
Scientifically proven. No,
Yeah.
Look at my fights. I wore it before my
Honestly.
fights.
I think there's going to be a study on this later in the future. Hey, man, having you on is a blast. This is the first of many. As you continue to go through your career and win and just dominate, I'm sure there'll be more of these too.
Yeah,
And we'll have to get you on after. And then your fight, dude, I can't wait for it. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, man, get into it with me anytime, bro. I'll be here anytime, man.
Oh, yeah.